Hello and welcome to my channel. I am so happy to be able to share this project. It is called Antique Florals, using this kit from ChapterOnePapers, and it's a custom order for a friend who asked me to make her a journal, and she has sent me all kinds of beautiful goodies that were her mom's handwork and papers and lace, vintage lace, absolutely beautiful items. So this is for Kim. It's also got a beautiful necklace that was her mom's that I did not have the heart to, cut apart and repurpose. It's in perfect shape. So what I'm going to suggest is she just keeps it to hang on the tassel here, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what we've got as the centerpiece is a beautiful piece of her mom's handwork. Absolutely the most beautiful embroidery I've ever seen. I should have taken a picture from the back side because it was just as pretty, which shows you the quality and the caliber of her work. It's such a beautiful skill. I've used a chenille bedspread panel as a topper with some vintage lace, some organza flowers with bling and leather, braided leather that I have tea dyed. And this little tag is attached with a pink ball pin. I've used Krafttex for the cover and fabric inside it and outside. On the covers, I've used a vintage lace scarf, maybe not so vintage, but I got it at the vintage market. This tassel is removable. We've got vintage buttons on the spine. It's about a 3-inch spine, I think just under 2 7/8 or something like that. And all the buttons are her mom's. So all the buttons you will see are from her mom. So the tassel is removable, and it's got a lot of pieces from her, the organza ribbon. I've attached some of the antique brass large keys that she's given me, some pearls, some fibers and wool and such, some funky looking beads. And then she can just hang the necklace on it like this, and it will just attach to the spine, and she can look at it and handle it. So I'm going to put that over here. Oh, this is my second video because I was way too far off the frame with the first one. Got some lovely beads here, which I'll show when I open up the journal, to the center of each signature. So let's have a look at Antique Florals. Lots of pink, lots of pink. This is a set of charms, and it says, "I love you to the moon and back." Little starfish here. Her and her husband collected sea glass, so that's a nod to her. I'm sure she'll get. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. In this glassine bag, I've included a beautiful doily, tatted lace doily that her mom has made. I can't imagine how many hundreds of hours that would have taken, and there's no way I could cut that apart. So I've left it complete for her and her daughter to look at from time to time, or even take out and use and pass it on, or just keep it in this treasure book. Sorry about the crunchiness. And I'm going to just put that over to the side as well. I've used Dupioni pink silk in the inside covers. This is a beautiful quilt panel that I cut out a heart, or she cut out a heart, and I just attached it and sewed it on with pink thread. Some of her mom's vintage lace. All the trims, not all the trims, but some of the trims were from her mom as well. And the scrapbook papers. And we've just got a little tag tucked in here, some vintage lace, a little tuck spot, some hearts. She does love hearts. I want to make sure that I used a lot of them. Okay, I think I'm good here now. Her birthday is in September, so I made these little tags out of Edith Holden book page and attached them with some of the ribbon trim from her mom. Some stamping. This little sentiment says "free spirit," and we've got some lace, lots and lots of lace. As you can see, it takes up the bulk of the book, but so fun. So fun to just run your hands down the side. Here we've got a flip up with a lace edge die that I've used, some gold trim, and this is a little envelope from the kit and a journaling card that I've stamped inside with a rose. This kit is so beautiful. I know I'm going to get much more use out of it. It is just delightful. I also painted all the papers with the gilding polish before I even cut them up or started the journal. Tea-dyed graph paper, lots of sewing, most of it with pink thread. Over here we've got a vintage handkerchief that I've used, embroidered, and some of the digital kit backed onto pink parchment paper. Here's some of my shimmer mist paper that I have done some embossing on and used her beautiful trims from her mom. This side we've got a decoupage napkin onto watercolor paper and some stamping on the back with pink thread stitching. This is some beautiful paper that she gave for me to use. It's absolutely my favorite. I backed it onto parchment paper because it's very thin. It's not really vellum, but it's not as sturdy as cardstock, so it did need a little bit of support. A die cut out of my shimmer mist pink paper and a scallop circle punch that is reinforcing the top, and some of her mom's beautiful lavender lace. Vintage music paper that's tea-dyed. Hope you can see the glimmer polish. It's just so beautiful. I absolutely love using it. Here's an envelope that I've made with a vellum sticker, image from the kit, and some of her paper inside. See, it's quite thin. And then a journaling card that I have stamped on the back. And that just gets tucked into the side here. Some floral vellum paper. And a few tags in this vintage lace pocket that I've used her mom's trim and vintage buttons. A little glassine bag with just a tag in there. Could also be used as a belly band there if she wants. These are book page tags that I've used, the Tim Holtz wallpaper die cuts backed onto parchment paper, stitched with pink thread, and a bookmark topped with her mom's beautiful vintage lace. I love that. And just some punching, border punching on the bottom. Style Vintage, beautiful pink trim. Another napkin decoupage tag and stamping on the back. Another one of her gorgeous book pages. A label from the kit, die cut, backed onto parchment paper and stitched with pink thread. Some of her scrapbook paper and her mom's beautiful vintage lace. Can always tell vintage lace, it is so soft, not like modern or manufactured lace. It's amazing. And we've just got some more writing space here. A couple more tags. This is some of Sheila's beautiful embellished trim from Boho Daydreams. Another tag, large journaling tag, and some smaller pieces with stamping on the back. An envelope just folds over the page here, and this is some of her mom's vintage lace. So pretty and so soft. Stamping, tea-dyed tracing paper. And the center of the first signature, I've used some of her mom's tatting as the tag toppers here. This one is cream, and there's a pink one and a blue one as well. I just made bookmarks out of them. Didn't have the heart to cut them apart and left the threads hanging off the ends of them. Backed it onto parchment paper. Center of the first signature, we've got some cute little charms and beads here, done in pink. And some of her mom's vintage purple trim. Just some journaling tags that I've made. That one's stamped with Inspire. This one has a bunch of leaves on it. This little frame here, she could stuff a picture in or do whatever she would like with it. More tracing paper and some of her mom's trim. Belly band here and a few tags. Just stamped a little bit on the back. And another journaling card here. Made collaged book page, scrapbooking paper, digital image, and a Tim Holtz die cut. Stamped on the back and backed onto parchment paper. Lots of writing space here. These are absolutely beautiful vellum stickers that I'm in love with. And a little tuck spot here. A vintage lace pocket. This was my vintage lace, and those buttons are, of course, from her mom. This is also a stunning piece of vintage lace, just over a digital. Backed onto parchment paper. And some of the digital images, envelope, and a journaling card that came with the kit. Another decoupage napkin tag. And a tag from the kit. Got some beautiful trim here, 2 pieces. This is from her mom's vintage lace collection. Some more beautiful vintage sheet music that I've tea-dyed. These are some of the papers from the scrapbook papers that she included for me to try and use. And amazingly, they coordinated so beautifully with everything. Some of my vintage lace. This is a blush color and a charm of key that she gave me, a whole set of charms and bulb pin and a little booklet made out of the digital image. Some lace die cut here. I love the texture, different textures in a journal. Here we've got a piece of vintage quilt panel that she sent, and a little heart cut out with some bling on it, and another heart that says made with love, and a flower, decoupage napkin tag, and a paper tag, specialty paper tag. I do love roses. They're beautiful PSX stamps. Can't get them anymore, I don't think, so when I find them, I snap them up. I love them, and they're so versatile. I can use them with so many different projects, card making, whatever. This is some of my modern pink lace with her mom's vintage lace here, and trim here. I did the Martha Stewart border punch, like it's a lace edge. An envelope from the kit, a butterfly stamped here. This is the end of the first signature and on to the second. These are her papers, and I used some buttons there from her mom. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous pink floral vintage lace. How stunning is that? And a die cut. She could just do some note taking on there if she wants to. Stamping, lots of stamping. A lot of it I use just on the tags, so it's not predominantly busy with stamping. Another napkin decoupaged journaling card, and some graph paper with beautiful vellum paper die cut. This is a cool piece of lace. I used a couple of hers and a couple of her mom's and just made this a really neat effect. It looks bulky, but it does press flat. But I thought it was really cool. some of my shimmer mist paper that I've done embossing on and run a piece of her mom's beautiful ribbon through. This is modern and vintage lace together in pink. This is just a little journaling card. Vintage sheet music, tea-dyed. Vintage lace. That was mine and her mom's vintage lace and buttons. And these tags. Roses stamped on the back. And I shimmer misted all the papers before I started. I already said that. Some vellum. And this goes in here with some beautiful braided trim and some of her mom's vintage lace as the topper. So it just feeds right through here. I had already done one video attempt, so I didn't put it back in place, but you can get the idea. Another flip up or tip in with some gold trim, velvet trim, more of the rusty peachy colors, and the beautiful die cut, lace edge die cut. This is a tuck spot, and I used a mannequin body form. The word vintage style stamp there, and some paper tags. Really pretty colors. And another vellum sticker. Here we've got an envelope that I made, and it's got some of her beautiful paper inside. Check that out. How cool is that? Love it. If anybody knows where you can get more of this paper, please tell me, because it has been a joy to work with. I tell you, it is gorgeous. She does like hearts, so I've included hearts in a whole lot of places. Some pearl lace trim. I used pink stitching, pink thread for most of the sewing in here. This is the center of the second signature, and this bookmark features the pink tatting. Beautiful. And a border edge large punch. Some decoupage napkin journaling cards, stamping on the back, and some of her mom's beautiful soft lace trim and a bit of bling. I believe this digital kit was part of Rachel's Roxy Creations collage paper set. I have a lot of it printed out, and I use it all over the place. Another decoupage napkin and small tag. Journaling cards on this side. And here we've got a canvas tag that she sent, and I just added some of her mom's buttons to it. Love it. And this is some thick certificate paper. Just beautiful design. And I just cut it in half, and I was able to use it in 2 spots in the book because we love those florals. And some pretty stamping. This gorgeous lace. Love it. Eyelet with this very soft tulle. I went back and bought the rest of the roll that they had because I'm in love with it. I can just imagine tea dyeing that. Paper tag here, stamping on the back, and a journaling card from the kit. Little vintage lace pocket. That was my vintage lace with her mom's vintage lace applique over top, and a little key on a charm on a ball pin. Tea-dyed paper throughout, of course. Another envelope and journaling card. Note paper, lined note paper. A napkin decoupaged onto watercolor paper journaling card, and a tag. And a little die cut that she included, and I did a punched out heart there. Some more vellum. Another journaling card. This one is stamped with Your Story Matters. And a sweet little die cut using vintage sheet music. Don't need to tea dye that because it's the right color. These ones I do though. Actually, she gave me one sheet of vintage music paper, and this might be it because it just feels a little different. This is just modern pink ruffled lace, and I added her mom's white vintage lace trim in here. It's so delicate. It's absolutely beautiful. Quality buttons, sentiment. This is watercolor paper, and I believe she did that herself. I'm not quite sure, but it was part of the scrapbooking paper that she gave me to use as I could. Those are her mom's vintage buttons, and this is a piece of my blush colored vintage lace. Love this collaged journaling card, and some of her mom's beautiful soft lilac vintage lace as a topper. Another envelope and booklet inside. I think there were like 12 or 14 of these in the kit. It was like, whew. But I think I did use them all up. Some graph paper with the sentiment beloved right there. Little butterfly die cut as a belly band. A little envelope. And a butterfly stamped here. Some of her mom's lovely vintage lace trim. And some of Sheila's beautiful embellished trims here. You can get those through Boho Daydreams. And a little booklet with some stamping. The end of the second signature. I actually don't think I showed the beads here. They're all pretty much coordinating. This one has a button charm and a heart charm. Third signature, some of my shimmer paper stamped with a rose, and some of her mom's pretty vintage lace and vintage trim with roses on it. Just a blank tag she can use for anything. I also printed the papers in a couple of different sizes so that, you know, there's variety in the pages. I like that. A lovely tag made from her beautiful paper, and a die cut piece of bling on the side there, a flower, some tags, and an envelope that the tag fits into, the little green one. Some vintage lace here. This is my favorite piece of her mom's lace. So beautiful. Look at that. I actually think I sewed it all the way across both pages and then just sewed it down the middle to keep it in place, and I didn't want to cut it up any more than that. Just left it as a beautiful envelope pocket for her. This was also scrapbook paper from her. She can use for note-taking or as a card. The beautiful thing about ephemera is you can use it for anything you want. It's got more than one purpose. And a little scalloped edge envelope and journaling card that I've just stamped on. And another decoupage napkin tag, journaling card, stamping on the back, some of her mom's beautiful braided trim. Here we've got another glassine envelope that I've just added some simple hearts to, and another paper tag collaged. I'm going to tuck in there. Vintage pocket, that's some of my vintage lace, and we've got another piece of the shimmer paper that is embossed, and some of her mom's vintage trim running through the top, punched edge. A cute little charm, two charms, one's a flower and the word love and a heart. Another envelope and journaling card, booklet. And we've got some pink lace here with some of her mom's vintage lace trim. And this is some beautiful vintage music paper. The other side of the certificate that I used as a giant journaling card. Another paper journaling card, vintage sheet music, and some of the digitals from the kit. Sentiment here says, try something new. vintage lace pocket and buttons, another journaling card, and florals stamped on the back. Here we've got a belly band and a couple of journaling tags. I didn't put a lot of lace and toppers on everything because it would have just gotten way too thick. It's super chunky as it is. Vintage finds and a label up there onto this collage digital paper. Here's another journaling card with a label and a die cut. Beautiful vellum sticker. Another flip up. This one's in green and blue. Some of her mom's beautiful blue vintage lace. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And buttons, of course. And an envelope and a little journaling card. And this just flips up as well. Cute as a button. Some more of her mom's vintage lace and buttons right there. And this is the center of the third signature. Some charms and beads here. Got a couple of napkin decoupaged journaling cards and stamping on the back. Handmade is best. Here's some seam binding just scrunched up and attached there. A tag and the third bookmark. This one has blue tatting on it. And this one is stamped on the back with the word awesome. That is napkin decoupage as well. And a tag from the digital kit. Tracing paper. Another piece of beautiful embellished trim from Sheila at Boho Daydreams. A collaged tag with some beautiful vintage lace on the top. And just another little booklet on this side. More lined paper. Lots of room for journaling. Gorgeous paper. Die cut and a punched scallop circle on the top. Stamping on the back. Backed onto parchment paper and stitched with pink thread. And another collaged journaling card here. Vintage lace pocket and sweet little key charm. Vellum paper and a side tuck with this journaling card and some more of her pretty paper. Really, really cool. And just an envelope that I've made out of scrapbook paper. Just looks vintagey and linen-like. Another decoupage napkin tag journaling card, stamped on the back, stitched with pink thread. Another envelope from the kit. Beautiful vintage lace trim here with modern lace. Vintage music paper. Another handmade watercolor journaling card tag and some of her ribbon. This is some of my blush colored vintage lace that I made into a pocket, and her mom's vintage buttons that just match so perfectly. All you have to do is believe. Graph paper with some vellum lace die cut here, and some of her mom's vintage lace attached to this side. Another quilt piece that I cut up. Added some of her mom's vintage lace, some bling, and a charm that says made with love, and some journaling cards. Coming to the end, this is the other side of that beautiful panel of vintage lace, and I included a little organza bag as a needle keep. These were her mom's needles, some of her needles that I thought would be meaningful for her. There's also some embroidery thread that I used for all the buttons. That was her mom's. Another envelope, a journaling card, and a tag. A little bit of bling here, some ruffled eyelet lace and vintage lace here, a collage of die cuts that she sent me. And this is actually a fold over you can use to straddle a page if you want to. I just left it for her to decide where to use it. And that's my logo, Vintage Elegance Inspiration. This piece she gave to me, I know is very special to her. She's lost her husband recently, and he was a Levi jeans guy. So she cut off a pocket, and I just figured out how to attach it to the journal, wrapped it around the side because it's so thick. I couldn't have, no way, put it on a piece of just a regular journal page. Attached the lace scarf, ribbon closure, covered it with a doily, stitched all the way around, attached the buttons, and included a picture of her husband for her. So she will be thinking of him, I'm sure, every time she goes through this journal. This page is dedicated to him. And it's a personal card that she wanted included in the journal that means something to her. So there you have it, Kim. This one's for you. I really hope you enjoy it. I loved making it. It was easy. It was a pleasure. It was an honor to use your mom's beautiful, beautiful handwork. I really hope you and your daughter Victoria love it and are able to go through it and remember your mom with all the special pieces that she made for you and left for you. So thank you for watching. This is a long video, and it is my second try, so I really hope I stayed in frame. And I thank you for watching. See you next time.